Okay, magandang umaga sa ating lahat, and in behalf of the Donmar TV, gusto kong magpapasalamat sa aking mga audience dito na laging sumusuporta sa akin kasi po napapansin ko lately, okay, na unti-unti po tayong dumadami at that only shows na malaki po ang paniniwala ninyo sa akin sa ating programa dito sa ating opinion, reaksyon sa mga balita. Okay, tayo po ay nagpapasalamat dyan at ako rin ay humihingi ng tulong sa inyo na i-like at saka i-share ang ating mga videos para mas marami pa tayong ma-share na mga balita na totoo, no? Pwera na lang dyan sa mga ibang mga vloggers, especially ito mga loyalista at mga bangag na vloggers, medyo ang kanilang mga vlog ay lahat kasinungalingan yan patungkol kay VP Sara. Kung mapapansin nyo, lagi nilang binabanatan yung hitsura ni VP Sara, personal na nilang binabanatan, mga ad hominem. So hindi po tayo gadon. Tayo po dito sa Donmar TV ay kung ano ang ginagawa ng mga pasaway na mga politicians ay yun po lamang ang ating kinokorek, nire-reaksyonan ng sarili nating opinion. Ayaw po natin na magbigay ng opinion na alam natin na hindi naman totoo. Okay? So, lahat dito sa Donmar TV ay sarili po nating opinion. Ano yung mga posibleng mga nangyayari, ang posibleng mangyayari in the future o predictions. Ganon ang ating mga vlog dito. So ngayon, dahil nabanggit natin yan, no? By the way ha, yung mga first time dito, yung mag-subscribe rin kayo kasi libre lang ang mag-subscribe. Updated pa kayo sa mga issue, okay? So ngayon, pag-usapan natin itong si Vice President Inday Sara Duterte. Nagsalita na po doon sa Hague. Okay? Nandun po siya sa Hague ngayon. At pinag-usapan po doon ang update sa kalagayan po ni former President Duterte. Ang pinakatanong dyan, makakalabas pa ba si Tatay Digong? O ano ba ang pakay ng ICC? Bias lang ba sila talaga? Ayaw na ba nilang pakawalan si Tatay Digong? Mamaya malalaman ninyo yan. Pakikinggan natin ang update patungkol kay Vice President Inday Sara Duterte. Okay? Pero bago ang lahat, pag-usapan rin natin itong patungkol po kay Senator Bato de la Rosa. Alam naman natin si Senator Bato matagal na nananahimik. Matagal na hindi nagpapakita doon sa Senado. At mga bangag na mga supporters at ito mga loyalista supporters at ito mga dilawan, lagi nilang binabanatan si Senator Bato na sabi nila, walang karapatan si Senator Bato de la Rosa tumanggap ng sahod. Hindi naman atat na atat si Senator Bato na makatanggap sa sahod, 'di ba? So bakit naman sila parang sila pa yung bothered. Bothered sila eh. So ang kagandahan dito, ipapakita ko ang video kung saan inexplain ni Senator Alan Peter Cayetano ang kalagayan po ni Bato. Okay? Para maiintindihan ng mga bangag at mga dilawan dyan. Okay? Para maiintindihan. Heto pa. Pag-usapan rin natin si Madriaga. Kasi yung ginawa ni Madriaga, mas lalong napapahamak na raw si Madriaga. Deserve mo, karma katuloy. Mamaya sa kaduluduluhan ng video, malalaman ninyo yan patungkol dyan sa mga sinasabi ko. Okay? So unahin muna natin itong si Senator Alan Peter Cayetano kung saan nagsalita na po siya patungkol kay Senator Bato de la Rosa. Ito po yung video at magre-react tayo.
Lalong uminit yung summer nung nandito kayo.
Kumusta kayo kay ano, Bato? Sa Bato? Okay?
1 cent for...
Okay?
Well, sure.
Sir, yung kay Senator Bato na ongoing ang ethics committee.
So, klaruhin ko lang yung kay Senator Bato. Lahat ay gustong pumasok siya. Gusto ni Senator Bato pumasok. Ayaw niyang hindi pumasok. Gusto ng minority pumasok siya. Gusto ng majority pumasok siya. Anong problema? May threat sa kanya na walang assurance ang gobyerno na mapoprotektahan yung kanyang karapatan.
So sino ay i-blame? Itong administrasyong ito. 'Di ba kupal eh? Ako sa mga ganitong mga balita, no, kagaya nitong binalita ni Senator Alan, talagang nakakagalit, guys. Imagine, Bato is a Filipino. Ngayon, merong mga dayuhan, itong ICC, pupunta dito sa Pilipinas at huhulihin si Bato. Ang tanong ko dyan, hindi man lang kayo marunong kumampi sa sarili nating Pilipino na senador dahil sa pamumulitika? 'Di ba? Kasi gusto rin nilang mahuli si Bato eh. Yan ang problema dito sa bansa natin. Hindi marunong hindi marunong kumampi. Hindi mapagkakatiwalaan ang administrasyong Marcos na ito. Kung nagagawa nila yan sa malaking tao like kagaya ni Bato na senador, how much more tayo mga Pilipino? Kung huhulihin tayo ng mga dayuhan. 'Di ba? Si Senator Bato po ay isang senador ng Pilipinas. Binoto yan ng marami. Tapos ngayon, hahayaan lang ninyong mahuli. Kaya si Senator Bato ayaw na talagang lumabas. 'Di ba? Kung iisipin mo ng mabuti, nakakagalit. Walang ginawa ang gobyernong ito. Bakit? Kasi kaaway sa politika. Kaaway sa politika. Kung tutuusin, kaya man yan ng mga, kaya talaga yan ng mga, sa executive, si Bongbong Marcos, sasabihin niya, huwag niyong hulihin yan. Pero wala. Gugustuhin nilang wala si Bato kasi alam niyo na, pagdating ng impeachment trial, si Bato hindi makakaboto.
So katulad ngayon po, pumasyal po kayo dito sa Taguig. Kahit anong tapang nyo po bilang media, kung credible yung threat na pag pumunta kayo dito, kukunin kayo, dadaling kayo sa Hague, pupunta ba kayo dito? Kung gusto nyo man pumunta, yung editor nyo mismo magsasabi, wag kayong pumunta kasi pwede naman kayo mag-interview sa ibang lugar. So it is not by desire of Senator Bato na wag siyang pumasok. So that's the difference. So kung may hindi pumupunta for another reason, inuna negosyo, tinatamad. Pero pagka may rason, 'di ba? May sakit o kaya on official business, in this case, may threat eh. So nagkaroon ng isang paglilinaw ang DOJ noon, but with all due respect, lalong lumabo. Kasi ang sinabi ng DOJ noon ay may karapatan siya tumakbo sa korte at susundin yung korte. Pero in a nutshell, pinaraphrase ko lang. Pero ang sinabi din nila, may option din ang gobyerno na pag may warrant of arrest, arestuhin na lang siya tapos ipadala na siya doon. And then nag-announce yung ICC.
Hindi talaga. Kung pagbabasihan nila yung nangyari kay Tatay Digong, talagang delikado si Bato.
Na meron silang tinatawag na secret warrant. Hindi po yun yung ating konstitusyon. Sa ating konstitusyon, huwes lang, judge lang ang pwede mag-issue ng warrant of arrest. Kaya kung may warrant of arrest galing sa abroad, dadaan pa dapat sa ating judge yun. Yun ang stand namin. Walang makapag-assure kay Senator Bato eh. So I talked to someone very close to him. Ang sabi, simple lang sir, ma-assure lang kami ng Philippine government na may day in court siya dito. Kahit arrestuin siya dito sa Pilipinas. Pero yung sasabihin, pwede siyang kunin tapos ipadala na lang sa ibang bansa. ay maninindigan siya.
So the
Di
threat
ba?
is the arrest, Senator.
Yes, I mean, that's from the start naman, di ba? Kasi nilabas nila na may warrant tapos may ganon, di ba? Oh. So I'm not judging what's right or wrong. I'm just giving you human nature. Di ba? Human nature. Kahit ang Secret Service, pag tingin nila may threat sa presidente, sa vice president, hindi nila papupuntahin doon. Di ba? So hindi po voluntary ang pag-a-absent ni Senator Bato. Gustong-gusto niya po pumasok sa session. Let me clarify one more thing. Sabi nung iba hindi siya nagtatrabaho, magkaiba po yun ha. Kasi sa loob man o sa labas ng Senado, napaka-importante ng plenary, napaka-importante po mag-participate, napaka-importante po ng committee hearings. Kung magkakaroon ng impeachment, napaka-importante din na umattend doon. But that's not the totality of the work of the senator. The research, the consultation, going around the country, that's all part of the work. So katulad ngayon, di ba, break, di ba? But after this, tatakbo ko, group of businessmen naman, consultation naman about yung contingencies dito sa energy crisis. That's part of my work. Di ba? So kung may hearing kanina, I could have attended that or this. Kung may hearing mamaya, I can attend my consultation or that, but that doesn't mean we're not working. Ganon din kay Senator Bato. Fully functional yung staff niya, yung mga memos sa kanya, mga filing nila, magpo-monitor tuloy-tuloy. Again, do I want him to attend? Yes. I think he also wants to attend. Namimiss na niya yung trabaho niya sa Senate mismo. Kaya lang kung ang kapalit naman doon, pagtuntong niya doon, bigla siyang arestuin, bigla siyang isakay sa aeroplano at ilipad sa Hague, 'di ba? Ilalaban niya yung karapatan niya.
So walang reason para i-dismantle yung office at hindi siya pasweldohin na.
Kung ganun, edi para mong sinabing i-threaten mo na rin yung 23. 'Di ba? Dapat yun ang baliktad eh. Bakit ang tinitignan natin yung may threat? Bakit hindi mapanindigan ng
Imagine that one ha. Hindi makapag-function ang isang senador dahil ginugulo nitong mga dayuhan na ito, itong ICC na ito. Hindi makapag-function. Tapos, ang administrasyong Marcos walang ginagawa dito? Obligasyon ninyo na protektahan ang kapwa Pilipino.
gobyerno, Senator Bato, nasa Pilipinas ka, may korte dito, safe ka. Pumasok ka, walang kikidnap sa'yo. O, hindi siya ma-assure ng ganun eh.
Correct.
So again, I'm not judging, pero linawin lang natin yung sitwasyon. Kasi ang lumalabas na sitwasyon para bang siya ang ayaw pumasok at dapat siya disiplinahin.
Correct.
Hindi ganun ang sitwasyon. Gusto niyang pumasok, pero live yung threat sa kanya.
Sir, yung partial, other issue, yung partial committee
Kasi
report,
ang pautot ng mga dilawan at mga bangag, ano ba yan si Bato? Hindi pumaspasok. Sus! Gusto nyo rin na maaresto si Bato? Wag kami.
sa Senado, yung sa Blue Ribbon regarding the flood control, as of now, Sen, wala pa po itong sapat na pirma, yung comment mo nila.
Well, two things. One, I've been around government long enough to understand na systemic yung corruption. Napakasakit, napaka-tragic yung flood control scandal, but may opportunity dito. Yung opportunity dito ay ang opportunity dito is yung hindi lang one time, big time, no, but to go to the root of the problem ng corruption sa Pilipinas and really address it. Ang unang naging problema is we didn't start with the truth. 'Di ba? From the start, sinasabi natin hindi lahat yung ghost. Pinalabas lahat ghost para mas marami magalit. Ngayon ina-admit nila hindi maraming ghost. Pangalawa, from the start sinasabing may mastermind pero tinatagpi-tagpi. O ano nangyaring net effect? Everyone na magkalaban sa local, sa national, ang kanyang mastermind, yung kalaban niya. Rather than finding kung sino ang tunay na mastermind pangkabuuan. Okay. Having said that, I believe sincere lahat. Sincere ang Pangulo na isolve to, sincere ang Kongreso, sincere si Senator Lacson, etc. But eto lang ang tanong ko why so much fuss about the partial when we have the opportunity to have the whole and bigger picture? Even sa pilian ng witnesses, in my experience, alam niyo naman naging chairman din ako ng Blue Ribbon ng matagal, you just allow the witnesses. Then through cross-examination, through the questions, interpellations sa mga senador, makikita kung sinong sinungaling at hindi. Ang difference lang, nung 2007, nung kami, wala pa masyadong social media. So, nandyan ang lens ninyo bilang journalist. So, dino-double, triple, quadruple, fina-fact check nyo. Ngayon kasi, lahat may social media. So, for the same witness, may grupong maniniwala, hindi. But that shouldn't stop the Senate from inviting witnesses. So, kasi kung sasabihin natin, ang i-invite lang natin na witness ay credible, then number one, you're already prejudging.
Correct.
So, pag hindi pala na-invite yan, hindi pag na-invite pala yan, credible.
Oh, yung isa dito yung 18 ex-Marines. Tapos si Orly Guteza. Malaki po ang bagay na yun na maimbitahan yun eh.
'Di ba? Oh, secondly, you're taking out the opportunity for the people to judge from themselves. 'Di ba? So kung sasabihin mo halimbawa, Mike Defensor, o sabihin mo totoo ba sinasabi about the Marines o hindi, let the people judge. O ngayon, yung sa NBI, sino paniniwala natin? Yung NBI o siya? 'Di ba? That's the beauty of having 24 senators. We're not all members of the Blue Ribbon, but anyone can attend and anyone can ask. So ang tingin ko, we're making a mountain out of a molehill dun sa partial naapektuhan din kasi ng konting rivalry ni Senator Lacson at Senator Marcoleta.
Correct.
But the reality is, 'di ba? Bakit
Kasi insecure kasi itong si Ping Lacson eh.
tayong nakapokus sa partial? Hindi pa nga na-unveil lahat eh. In fact, marami sa amin kasi binasa, we don't agree with the report. So hindi sa ayaw namin pumirma. Yeah, 'di ba? We have a lot of disagreements there. But why are we not talking? Ako personally, hindi pa tapos eh. Iniimbestiga mo marami, hindi lang 'to, marami pang yugto maraming nabubuksan. So for example, if you invited Zaldi Ko when he was still chairman ng appropriations, iba malamang sagot niya. Nung natanggal siya, iba sagot niya. Nung bumaliktad at sinasabi na admin at hindi siya, iba na naman storya. Hindi ko alam pag nahuli at pumunta dito kung iba. So our effort should be get him there or get key witnesses like him to get him to the Senate and to the DOJ and to the Ombudsman. Until then, 'di ba, it's he said, she said, and ang problema, he said this ng January. But siya din, he said this nung October. But siya din, he said this last year ganito. So paiba-iba eh. So sa hearing mo lang matetest yung credibility. Pero yung sabihin mo lang na, 'di ba, kahit ang sinungaling, hindi ibig sabihin lahat ng sabihin niya sinungaling. Kasinungalingan. O kahit na yung pare, pastor, hindi pag nilagay mo dyan, 100% na sasabihin ay totoo. That's why you test them nga per statement.
Sir, yung
So I'm hoping we will finish the investigation. But if you ask me my opinion, the whole truth will come out next administration pa. The same thing sa Duterte.
'Di ba? Obvious 'yun prangkahan na yung sinabi ni Senator Alan eh. The whole truth will come out kapag sino or kapag magpapalit na ng administrasyon. Kaya gusto na namin si BP Sara ang maging presidente para sasabog na lahat itong mga mastermind na ito. Tanginang yan.
Administration, whether you're pro o anti, kailan lumabas yung mas maraming katotohanan? During his administration or after? About Cory administration, whether mabango o hindi, kailan lumabas yung katotohanan? Nung panahon na ni FBR at saka ni ERAP, the reality is we're a very political society. And
Grabe.
whoever tells the story gets has the resources, the human resources.
Kaya yan si Zaldico, si Martin Romualdez, BBM, si Liza Marcos, Sandro Marcos. Wala, itong lima na ito, hindi ito lulusot. Kung lulusot man sila ngayon sa administrasyon ng ama nila, pero pagdating ng ibang administrasyon, kakalkalin yan.
The financial resources, the storytelling techniques, di ba? So sometimes time will tell or the better timing will tell you the whole of the story.
Correct.
Diba? So katulad ngayon, lumalabas ngayon, di ba? Pinupinteriya natin 2025 budget, na tama naman. Pero lumalabas maraming ghost na sa 24 at 23. Pero hindi pa lumalabas ng husto, pero yun ang lumalabas.
Pwede bang yung building is kaya, ano sabi niya ngayon?
Well, all over the Philippines, we did our own investigation. Number one, walang ghost sa Taguig. Number 2, it was all bid, etc. Ang initial information namin is marami, iba yung sa bidding, pero hindi yun yung actual contractor. So gamit ng lisensya. So I leave it up to the DPWH for their own investigation, and then dito wala kaming sinasanto, di ba? But that's the problem pagka open bidding, di ba? Pag open bidding, anyone can win. But that's precisely why we invited you, we invited Sec Vince, walang tinatago dito, and in fact, may mga iba, may kamalian sa paggawa, so how do we fix it?
So it's all about funds of DPWH, lang hindi funds ng sino mang congressman o senator.
Basta't alam kong nasa GAA siya. But yung actual details, hindi ko alam. Actually, una kong nakita yan sa internet din eh. Tapos bigla akong tinanong. Tapos we sent people here to look at everything, yung natapos, etc. Then we interviewed yung gumagawa. Hindi sila empleyado nun.
Pero sir, kung anong company?
I don't have the details kasi I just did the preliminary. But both DPWH and the local government should have all the facts and everything.
Pero people are asking, Sen, why leave the investigation to the DPWH when in fact sila yung nagpabibig kasama yung mga
It's
Biskaya?
everywhere eh. I mean, sa Pasig City, kay Vico, meron din. Kay Mayor Magalong, meron din. So when I say leave it to the investigation, DOJ, Ombudsman, DPWH, and we have a new DPWH. So the people they're investigating are new people, di ba? So it's self-serving for politicians to investigate themselves. But it's katangahan for me not to even ask questions.
Correct.
Diba? So we ask preliminary questions, satisfy ourselves. If we find something deep, then we will ask for whatever kind of investigation. That's why at the start of this, sinabi ko sa lahat, open books, transparent, tignan nyo lahat. And ang request ko lang, sabay-sabay gawin. Para nga, hindi yung may tinitignan, may tinititigan. Okay.
Okay, so yun po ha, ang update kay Senator Bato. I hope Senator Bato will someday, no? Na, I think, ako duda ko, Senator Bato, babalik yan. 2028 na yan babalik. Mauubos talaga ang oras ni Bato kasi hindi po mapagkakatiwalaan ang administrasyon ngayon. Okay? So ito, rekta na tayo dito sa kay VP Sara, okay? In-interview na siya doon kay Alvin and Tourism patungkol po sa update ni Tatay Digong at sa mga issues naman. Okay, play.
Sige. Please, salamat Thank you.
VP Inday,
Yes.
welcome back to the Netherlands. Magandang araw po sa inyo. How are you today?
Thank you. I wouldn't say I'm happy to be back because of the situation of President Duterte, but I'm happy to see all of you again, and happy springtime sa inyong lahat. I am very well and okay.
Thank you, VP. On behalf of the Filipino community all over the world, welcome back and we're glad to see you again.
Yes, I'm happy to see first-timers as well. And first-timers in the Netherlands, ma'am, no?
Yes.
So,
We were here actually last year.
Oh.
We bring some cakes.
Oh.
Birthday si Tatay.
salamat. And I think malaki din
Alam nyo, yung mga Pilipino dyan sa Hague, no? Ang swerte-swerte ninyo na meron po kayong opportunity na makalapit kay VP Sara ng ganun kalapit, di ba? Ang swerte nyo talaga.
yung celebration nitong nakaraang March 28 para kay President Duterte. So nagpapasalamat din ako sa mga Filipinos overseas na pumunta dito sa Hague noong March 28 para mag-celebrate dito sa Duterte Street and mag-celebrate din dun sa Malidel Park. So thank you sa inyo.
Thank you, VP Inday.
Next birthday.
Yes, we always pray for that. No? Halos araw-araw yung dasal na sana ay makauwi na si President Duterte.
Kami uwi.
VP Inday.
Oh, sobra ma'am. Sobrang mahal ng
Thank you, ma'am.
magastos ma'am.
VP Inday, How was your visit with PRRD after a while, ma'am, of not seeing him?
Okay lang naman. He looks well. He looks healthy. And wala naman siyang mga problema. I suggested na magpa-physiotherapy siya. But he refused na mag-physiotherapy. So, we'll see tomorrow kung makumbinsin natin siya na physiotherapy in lieu of his supposed dapat everyday exercise.
Yes. VP, what is your initial reaction when the jurisdiction was established, decided by the appeals chamber, ma'am?
Well, I accepted it as it is. Discussion na rin naman namin yun ng mga abogado, no? Na we don't see any way that the ICC will let go of the case of President Duterte since isa na lang ito sa dalawa na ICC cases, no? So we don't think na they will let this go.
Is it the same sentiment, VP, with respect doon sa confirmation of charges?
Oo, yes.
Okay.
Same lang, no? Na this will really go to trial, and the best way to move forward is to prepare for time.
VP Inday, the burning question is that how do you maintain such a vibrant and very beautiful vibe amidst all the persecution done to you by your detractors?
Sakuan, siguro.
No comment.
Grabe naman yung tanong ni Alvin.
No, I've always been like this. Yes. Even before I was vice president, and hanggang naging vice president ako, and I don't see na magbabago yung disposition ko because of a few problems here and there. Sabi ko nga lagi, 'di ba, noon na parang tipong ang pinaka problema lang ng isang tao is magkasakit or mamatay, because death is the ending, and then disease or sickness is going towards the ending.
VP, just to be political also, what is your position? A lot of people, especially individuals na talagang gusto kang ma-impeach, are already spreading statements sa social media or sa mainstream media that you will be impeached and there will be impeachment sa Senate against you.
Kung ordinary individuals lang naman yan, like ordinary Filipinos, pabayaan na natin yan, no? Kasi yan naman yung opinion nila, yan naman yung damdamin nila. Hindi mo naman mapabago ang nararamdaman ng isang tao. But it is different siguro kapag congressman na yung nagsasabi or senator na yung nagsasabi. Kasi magtatanong ka, bakit sobrang sigurado ka na
Yes.
tapos na ito?
I was about to ask VP because Representative Ridon actually even made mention in an interview that you're very clear na talaga that there will be 106 votes.
May naniniwala ba yan kay Ridon? Ridon. Yan, si Ridon very obvious na gumaganti sa mga Duterte. Para rin yang si Trillanes
which is required for the articles of impeachment na ma-endorse doon sa Senate.
Oh, well, hindi ako makakomment sa kanyang mga nalalaman kasi hindi ko alam kung ano yung alam niya.
Okay. VP Inday, just to conclude this interview, VP, no? Para siguro jet lag ka pa.
Wala, okay lang ako.
Okay lang. VP, what's
Natulog ako ng maayos.
Okay.
Hindi mag-jet lang.
VP, what's your message to the undying, unwavering love and support to the former president and to the Duterte family, to you and your siblings as well?
Yes, oo. Undying din yung pagpapasalamat sa lahat ng mga kapatid.
kung makikita itong video na ito ng mga taga House Committee on Justice, lalong silang maiirita. Ayan, no? Ito yung mukha ng isang vice president na tinitira nyo araw-araw. Oh. Magandang maganda pa rin. Unbothered. Oh, yan. Unbothered talaga yan.
bayan natin. In fact, kanina, as you mentioned, to bring the message to him, sabi mo, hindi kayo susuko. So, pinaabot ko din sa kanya, sabi ko, nagsabi sila na hindi sila susuko. At sabi niya na sumuko na daw kayo. kayo. Well, hindi ko alam kung joke yun or hindi. But
miles away for him.
for PRD, I would take it as a joke. And of course, ako personally, yung lakas ko lang talaga galing talaga sa mga tao.
Correct. Oh, kasi kung walang mga supporters ang mga Duterte, siguro sila malulungkot sila, pero araw-araw makikita mo na ang daming supporters ni Tatay Digong, mabuhayan ka ng loob eh.
Sa totoo lang, iniwan na siguro ako lahat ng mga kaibigan ko na politiko, pero hindi ako iniwan ng mga
Correct.
outside.
Correct.
Kami.
Correct.
Ako.
VP, another...
Grabe
another-
no, grabe yung sinabi niya yun. Iniwan man ako lahat ng mga kakampi ko mga politiko, pero hindi siya iniwan ng mga kababayan ko. Grabe. Ulitin natin yun kasi medyo maganda yung sinabi niya eh.
Of course, ako personally, yung lakas ko lang talaga galing talaga sa mga
Tama.
tao. Sa totoo lang, iniwan na siguro ako lahat ng mga kaibigan ko na politiko, pero hindi ako iniwan ng mga
Grabe.
Correct.
outside. Kami.
Correct.
Ako.
No matter what.
VP, another statement coming from perhaps sentiments by the Filipinos. Are you ready to become the next president of the Philippines?
I'm already a presumptive candidate because I declared my intention to run for the next presidential elections. We can only pray that there will be a presidential elections on 2028 and it will be honest, orderly, and peaceful.
On behalf of the Filipino VP, mabuhay ka, mahal ka namin, at asahan mo ang suporta namin. Duterte!
Salamat.
Mabuhay ka, VP.
Ayan. Pagpasok ni VP Inday, guys. Kasama niya si Kateki, of course. But ngayon, guys, si VP Inday ay papasok na po siya para bisitahin si former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Mabuhay ka, VP Inday. Hanggang sa dulo ang laban na ito. Ayun.
Ayan so rekta tayo dito kay Attorney Panelo, yung anak ni Salvador Panelo, no? Mas lalong nahihirapan ngayon si Madriaga. Ito, panoorin nyo.
Sige, salamat Thank you.
VP Inday.
Ano ba to? Oh, play.
First of all, what other evidence do you have against Madriaga?
Okay, so maybe we can start with his first claim, which is foundational to his other allegations against the vice president. Was he was formally assigned in the PSG, the Presidential Security Group, by former President Duterte from 2018 to 2021. So to disprove that, we were able to get a certification from the PSG, now the Presidential Security Command, that there is no Ramil Madriaga that has ever been employed, assigned, detailed, or otherwise connected with the PSG or even the PSC. And then we also have supporting testimony from two former PSG commanders attesting that they've never met this Madriaga. He's not the trusted aide that he claims to be of the former president. And we also have a testimony from Lieutenant Colonel Dennis Nolasco. He was also with the PSG from 2016 to 2022. testifying that the only connection of Ramil Madriaga to the PSG was that at one time there was an unofficial certificate course conducted in the PSG, provided by an external company, a private company called PSSPPA. And Madriaga just so happened to be a faculty member of that training provider. And then, of course, he also claims that he's been working with the vice president since 2018. He was introduced by the former president, according to him, to the vice president in 2018. The vice president, of course, denies this. And there are circumstances, including, in relation to that, he also claimed that he formed this parallel support group called ISIP Pilipinas, Inday Sara is my president Pilipinas, to support the campaign of the vice president. But he claims that it was under the instructions of the vice president and that the vice president funded the operations of ISIP. So to disprove this, we have the testimony of Attorney Ryan Kilala. Attorney Ryan Kilala is a friend of Ramil Madriaga, and he also was an associate dean of San Sebastian Law. That's where the vice president met him while the vice president was still a fourth-year law student. So Attorney Kilala attests that Madriaga doesn't know the vice president personally, and in fact, the first ISIP Pilipinas virtual meeting with the vice president was arranged by Attorney Kilala and not by Madriaga. So it proves that they don't know each other personally, because if it was true that he'd been working for her for 3 years at that point, then he wouldn't have to go through Attorney Kilala to arrange a simple virtual meeting. And it goes on, Ms. Ses. We have a lot more evidence. It's 340 pages, the perjury complaint. And this afternoon, we filed a reply affidavit to his counter affidavit that he filed a couple of weeks ago.
There was that video presented in the House Justice Committee hearing wherein he showed this flag that was, well, it was quite striking because it sort of proved that there was some relationship or there was some connection. Was that falsified, that particular video?
We also addressed that in the perjury complaint. What happened was there was if you recall, there was a motorcycle caravan that VP Sara did just before the campaign period started. And there was a stop in Matnog, Sorsogon. So what these parallel groups do, like ISIP Pilipinas, is they try to figure out what the schedule of the campaign is or the caravan is, and then they go to the next stop of the campaign or the caravan to welcome the vice president or the other candidate. So that's what they did. ISIP Pilipinas went to Matnog, Sorsogon to welcome the vice president. The vice president, who was then just a candidate for VP, noticed that there was an ISIP Pilipinas group waiting for the group, waiting for VP Sara. So what she did was she called Attorney Ryan Kilala and asked and told him, hey, may nakita akong ISIP Pilipinas group dito na nag-aantay sa amin. Sino bang pwedeng pasalamatan dito? So Attorney Ryan Kilala said, ay, si Ram Madriaga should be there. Yun ang hanapin mo. So siya yung binigyan ng flag, and this is not a special thing for Ramil Madriaga.
Correct.
Yung pagbigay ng flag, that's something that they regularly do during campaign stops in this motorcycle caravan.
So it was made to
Feel naman ni Madriaga na special siya doon eh. Sabi nga ni ni Chavit Singson, Madriaga is a professional scammer. Oh, yan ang sabi niya.
appear to be more important than it actually was.
Yes, and that's true for even the virtual meeting pictures that we've seen online that were presented to the House
Alright.
Justice Committee. Yeah.
Let's just say that you were right. However, even if these claims are proven to be true or false, there are other articles of impeachment that are there, and one article is just enough to, as claimed by Congresswoman Laila De Lima, is enough to convict the Vice President.
Si Dilima, isa pa rin yan. Galit rin yan sa mga Duterte. Di ba? Dilima? Maniniwala pa ba dyan? Janelle.
If the
Yes,
Senate
that's-
so sees fit.
Yeah, that's true, Mrs. It's just that I specifically am counsel for the Vice President for this perjury complaint. I'm not part of the impeachment defense team. I know a bit of the other articles, but I can't speak on behalf of the impeachment defense team, other articles.
Okay, but you also said that you still have one thing in your arsenal. You might file another perjury complaint against Madriaga. I'm figuring you won't want to share that with us right now, but
Why not?
but why not, if you can, or at which point will you consider to actually file this? Since, as has pointed out, if this counter affidavit of yours is already enough, then there won't be any point.
No, it's so what Madriaga did 2 weeks ago before the House Justice Committee.
Sa totoo lang, no? Ako po'y naawa kay Madriaga. Kasi ngayon, kakasuhan siya ngayon ng legal team ni VP Sara. And, naniniwala talaga ako na matatalo siya. Ginamit siya ng mga kalaban sa politika ni VP Sara yung mga ginamit siya si Madriaga. Siya yung kawawa actually sa totoo lang. Yung mas lalo, anyway, siguro sabi siguro ni Madriaga wala nang silbi yung buhay ko, nakulong na ako. Siya? Parang wala na. Bahala na ito. Ang ending, ano nangyari? Habang buhay kang makukulong dyan. O kung makakalabas ka man, matanda ka na.
In presenting and testifying on this supplemental affidavit is a new perjury count. So it's for us, it's not a question of whether he committed it or not, or whether we will file it or not. It's just a matter of timing. And the only consideration right now is whether it would be wise to do so just before the impeachment trial starts.
Have you
So it's
figured
more of a legal strategy thing than anything
But
else.
what would be the impact? How would it be disadvantageous to you or to your client if you do it before the vote?
Yeah, it's just about the possible disadvantage is just showing your cards before the trial starts.
Correct.
But we had the same issue or dilemma right before we filed the first perjury complaint. There was a discussion of whether it was wise to show our hand, but the Vice President decided that no matter what, even if they're prepared for us, they can't do anything about what we're about to present because we're telling the truth.
Maganda ito para sa akin, no? Na hindi talaga lahat ng plano ng legal team ni VP Sara ay i-reveal nila. Okay? Kasi po, strategy yan ang importante sa kanila doon sa impeachment trial sa Senado. Kasi kapag i-reveal na nila yung mga plano nila dito ngayon, wala. Maka-counter yan pagdating doon. Yan ang init ng ulo ng mga nila Ridon, nila Luistro. 'Di ba? So ayan narinig nyo, mas lalong nadurog ang puso ni Madriaga dito. Ayan. Mag-comment, mag-react po kayo sa mga audience ko dito sa Donmar TV. At kung nagustuhan nyo ang ating video, paki-subscribe na po sa mga first time lang dito. Okay? At like and share guys, don't forget para marami po ang makaalam dito. See you in my next video. Have a great day, have a great night. God bless po sa ating lahat. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas and God save the Philippines. Bye-bye!